All right, guys, so we're going to do this review of Good Luck to You, Grande. Okay, so this is the review of the trailer itself. I watched this trailer a couple of weeks ago when it came out. I left some comments on this trailer. And just let me tell you guys this about interracial brainwashing, mass brainwashing that has occurred over the last 25 years. Particularly black male, white female interracial brainwashing. So 25 years ago, most of these black dudes who are with these white women could not get these white women to save their lives, literally. All right, this movie and all these other movies like it. Now, I particularly don't have an issue with black male, white female, or any kind of interracial coupling. But when you have this much propaganda for the last 25 years in hip hop, with the Kardashians, particularly with the Kardashians, all these, especially for the last 3 years, where they constantly have images in commercials, TV, movies of black males and white females. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with this if they disperse these kind of images, these interracial images, fairly. I wouldn't have a problem with it if I saw the same amount of images of Asian males and white females, of Latino males and white females, of Indian males and white females, of Arab males and white females. But they don't do that. They don't do that. Now, I've seen an uptick, a little bit of an uptick for the last maybe 1 or 2 years. But overall, what they love to do is for whatever reason, or what they love to do is to put these movies, TV shows, advertisements out of black males and white females. And I've said this 25 years ago, these white women would not have given these guys the time of day had it not been for the seeds, the informational seeds, the images, the cultural seeds that gets implanted by all these TV shows, by all these movies, etc., etc. You guys watch The Equalizer with Denzel Washington. Apparently he saves the white girl. Okay, this is nothing more than essentially the Black Knight syndrome. Okay, black people had an issue with this when way back when, in the 80s and the 90s, when Hollywood constantly paired up. When they did interracial, they paired up white males, white leads, with black females, had the white males save them, had the white males be the protector, had the white males be the love interest. Okay, you guys could go back to the 80s and 90s. Most of these relationships were always white males and black females. The Jeffersons had an interracial couple, white male, black female. Ray Dawn Chong did a bunch of movies where she's the love interest of a white male, etc., etc. A lot of black people complained about this white knight syndrome. So, over the last 25 years, they've created a black knight syndrome because they couldn't get with white women back in the day, and there were a lot of angry black dudes because they couldn't get with white women before all this brainwashing occurred, particularly with the Kardashians, particularly with what you're seeing in TV, in the movies, etc., etc. Like, it's beyond ridiculous. All right, what Hollywood should do is put out a quota of images and movies, a 1-to-1 quota of black males and white females, Asian males and white females, Latino males and white females, Arab males and white females, Indian and white females, because this is not just entertainment. It's not just entertainment. This is cultural brainwashing. This is media brainwashing. And apparently it does work. I am surprised at how easily white females are brainwashed by this. All right. I call this free white pussy. And I call this free white pussy is you already planted the seed in their heads and at this point, for over the last 25 years, most of you planted the seed since birth. Everything they've watched, they've been influenced by, and sadly enough, they've been influenced by this. All right, so it's kind of creepy. It's very creepy. It creates an unleveled playing field in the social environment because of how brainwashed these stupid these stupid white women are when it comes to how they see relationships and stuff like that. So if you guys are not black and you guys are of another race, if you guys are Asian, Latino, Arab, or whatever, you guys need to go out there and try to promote through TV, movies, etc., Asian American white female relationships, Latino American white female relationships, Arab American white female relationships, Indian relationships, white female relationships, because this needs to be done. All right, what I'm seeing, it's just ridiculously creepy at this point. Okay, it's unfair because these black people, these black guys, have gone the absolute best branding that you could give another race of people for the last 25 years. I've always said that they've gone the Coca-Cola treatment over the last 25 years. Out of all the races, for a No Frills brand, they have gone a Coca-Cola treatment. And they continue to get the Coca-Cola treatment, especially after the whole BLM protest, which I considered social terrorism. I considered the whole entire episode to be cultural terrorism. I considered the whole episode to be social terrorism, because what they were trying to do with all the protests or the media coverage on that was to regain their social cultural place in America, because they were losing a little bit of it. They were losing a little bit of it to everybody else. They were losing a little bit of it to the fairness of everybody else, the inclusion of everybody else. What I've seen after the whole BLM protest is essentially this. All right, I've seen them push black people into positions that they have no qualifications for. I mean, you have the absolute rainbow of America. You got Asian Americans, you got Latino Americans, you got Arab Americans, you got Asian Americans, you got Indian Americans, you got all these Americans where you could put in different positions, and yet all they do is push black people in positions because for whatever reason, they think that it actually quells the diversity problem by just putting black people in these positions, which is wrong. All right, this is America. You gotta work for it. You gotta earn it, but they don't earn it. It seems like every 20 years. All right, this has been like 20 years since they had the riots in LA with the Rodney King thing, and then 20 years later they have the BLM. Look, this whole cycle has got to stop. It's got to stop. All right, I have never ever supported the whole BLM garbage, have never ever supported that. Where is everybody else's lives matter? Where is everybody, all the other minorities' lives matter? Now, I'm getting off track here as far as this movie is concerned. I personally wouldn't watch this movie because it's propaganda. I didn't watch 7 Years a Slave because that's propaganda. I don't even watch most of the movies that come out because I know that's propaganda. You're pushing a certain race with a certain race, but you're not doing the same positive things for other races. And that's the biggest problem that I have. You're not pushing the same positivity. You're not showing the same love for Asian American males. You're not showing the same love for Indian American males. You're not showing the same love for Latino American males. You're not showing the same love. There is a huge creepy issue with movies like this. There is a huge creepy issue with the media constantly needing to push this black male, white female narrative when 25 years ago they actually had to run ads telling white women not to clutch their purse if a black male walks into the elevator with them. And this is an absolute fact, guys. This is a fact. If you think it was that bad 25 years ago, think about think about how desperate these black dudes were 25 years ago. You actually had to have, if you were black, you would actually have to have a lot of money, a lot of game, or a lot of drugs. I mean, these days you've brainwashed these white women so much that, bro, you guys, a lot of you black people walk around thinking, black guys walk around thinking you got a trophy when you got serious game, when seriously you just got a brainwashed lady. You just got a brainwashed woman. She's totally brainwashed. You guys got no game whatsoever. All right, with that. And that's a fact. The movies like this is just absolute creepy. It's just creepy to me. That's the word that I can think of when describing something like this. It's just extra creepy, and it's just purposely creepy. They purposely do this. And it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. It's wrong because it makes the whole social environment an unfair environment. All right. It creates a beneficial agenda for a certain group of people versus other group of people. It's wrong.